Now, gold at the moment continues to consolidate. If we go over to have a look at the gold chart, last week we had a supportive zone which we came down and hit here around the 200-day moving average. Now, non-farm payrolls last Friday, we saw a indecision candle into the close. We whipsawed in price over the course of non-farm payrolls, and initially we surged. Then we saw a pullback back down to 1,200, about $42 per ounce, and we've settled really most of this week finding support at $1,250. And for those of you who trade gold, the way I would really look at this at the moment is by positioning your levels here just above and below this doji, which was created by last Friday's non-farm payroll. So you've got 1265 resistance to break above, and for a break below 1240, that is also where we're likely to see some momentum pick up. Whilst we stay within this range, I think gold's not going to do a lot here, but if we do see finally a US dollar sell-off today, which it is on the verge of doing that at the moment, if we see that pick up momentum to the downside, I would then expect some support here for the metals. And then if we break above 1265, I would suggest we're up and running here for a short-term trade for gold. Now, I would suggest there is a fair amount of clean air on gold getting back up to approximately the 1280 to the 1295 zone in the short term. If it was to form a V-shaped reversal pattern base, break above the 200-day moving average and start to pick up momentum here, that is what I would look at as a potential breakout zone. Whilst we're within this range, if we do break below 1240, if we were to break that level, then yes, there is clean air to get a break back down towards the 1200s. That is within the zone where we would expect the next major level of support. Now, in the short term, the way I'm looking at this is for gold it has done well to hold on to support this week. The minutes of the FOMC have been relatively supportive for gold overnight as well. We've seen Asia essentially holding on to, the bid up gold here, and we've seen gold hold on to these prices, and we're looking to see whether during the US session today we can break above resistance. I see a short-term move here, so a potential to take it back up towards the 1280 to 1300 zone, but then I would watch out because very quickly we're likely to get into a short-term overbought condition on gold at this point, and I would still say it's vulnerable to sellers coming in on rallies. So it's something to watch out for at the moment on gold. I do expect the potential for a short-term breakout to the upside, which could certainly, from a short-term point of view, there are some points available if we do see a breakout. I would just be careful, not necessarily expecting this to be the bottom of this correction at this point in time. It's not fully confirmed right now. It could be, but it's still vulnerable unless we can see gold really pick up a lot of momentum and get back above the 1300 level. We'll be watching to see what the inflows are at the end of the week